This is Pivot Perspectives with Chris O'Byrne, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they've learned on their road to success, and get exclusive access on how to implement their success into your life and business. Pivot Perspectives is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Chris O'Byrne.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, I'll just jump right in and save you a little bit of time. What I'd really like to do today is to focus on the Steinberg Sports Academy.
Okay.
I was able to make it to the football camp in Mesa on April 1st at the Legacy Sports Complex, and there was a really good turnout, and I heard nothing but rave reviews from all the kids and their parents and everybody that was involved. Can you tell me more about the sports camps that you have planned?
Well, we have more sports camps planned, and I'll be bringing in other athletes, probably from our practice. But fundamentally, the genesis behind this was that American education seems to be failing, and I'm the son of a high school principal who was a teacher and then a vice principal. So education's always been close to me. And we do, in our other work, agent academies where we train young people in the skill set, how to do that. We do sports career conferences. So I thought this high school was a natural outgrowth. And so the first thing is that for those athletes who come, you want to make sure that they understand math and science and fundamental skills that are competitive in today's market. And but then the concept behind this is there's an enormous appetite among young people in the world to work in the field of sports, and it could be to work for a team, a franchise, a league, a conference, a university athletic department. It can be to work for Players Association, work in sports marketing, branding, sports media, both on air and support, sports writing, facilities management. And so this will be a school that will emphasize all that in the curriculum. So the students will get special training in the area of their interest. So it not only involves athletes, but non-athletes or athletes who may not graduate to the level of doing this as a career, and which is sometimes hard to predict. In other words, they may not end up being professional athletes. So, but they love sports still. So it's pretty much to provide that. We're going to do a steady set of skills training for young kids, what you saw in Mesa. And so we'll continue doing that at regular segments. At regular segments. So the point simply is to create a new model for an educational system that's sports oriented, but then it leads you everywhere else. So that my practice is about the concept of role modeling. So we want to teach these athletes and the young professionals how they can retrace their roots and go to the high school, collegiate, and professional community and make a positive difference. They can use sports. For example, I created a Sporting Green Alliance to take sustainable technology in wind, solar, recycling, resurfacing, and water to take the state arena and practice field to drop carbon emissions and energy costs, and to transform them into educational platforms. The means of fans can see a waterless urinal or a solar panel and think about how to put it in their own home or business. So you put sports in the forefront, and we'll show them how you can create an anti-bullying program, or how you can use an athlete to do Lennox Lewis, the heavyweight boxer, I had to do a program that said real men don't hit women. So they're going, which does more to trigger imitative change in rebellious adolescents than 1,000 authority figures ever could. So it's to make them understand the power of sports to tackle domestic violence, sex trafficking, bullying, racism, or anything else. So it's to give them that orientation. We also are going to teach them how to network. So the best practical ways to get us how to use every public occasion. I mean, those kids you were dealing with are a little young, but if we had older athletes, it's how to network. It's how to go up to someone, have a 5-minute discussion with them, ask them for their card, and start to build what you and I used to call a Rolodex, right? And how to do that, and how to build relationships that will help in second career.
Got it. So it seems like that combination of high academics and sports is just really makes a lot of sense. It also seems like the Steinberg Sports Academy is very timely right now. Why is this such a good time for that initiative?
Because there's unhappiness that many parents have with the way that education is going. It doesn't teach core skills. It doesn't really prepare someone for a career. And we're not teaching classic truths that need to be emphasized. And so there's a market there. And then on the other hand, sports has exploded. So it's brand new stadia with jumbo scoreboards, and it's enhanced television contracts, and it's merchandising, and it's gambling, and it's everything else. So it's opened up this broad swath of being able to afford opportunity. There's also sports entrepreneurship. So back in the day, I formed a company called Athlete Direct, and what it did was it was sort of the genesis of the modern internet, in that you had to use AOL to get online. And you remember, you've got mail. And so, so what happened is I saw a need to put athletes up on the internet and to have them talk about their weekly diaries, have them talk about their charities, and put a e-commerce application so you could buy directly from them. And it became a big hit, and we put $100,000 or so into it, and we sold it, our share, for $25 million a couple of years later. So today, some of these young people will be entrepreneurial, and they'll create a new website, be involved with a new sport, look for a niche that's unfulfilled. So there are breakthroughs coming in biomed that have everything to do with two things. Number one, I've been looking for modalities that can create extra focus, enhance energy and endurance in the fourth quarter or last part of a game. And second of all, when a player gets hurt at a critical position, his backup under a cap system is much, much less talented. So being able to get players back to service quicker is key. And then the whole concussion issue. So what I found is hyperbaric oxygen, stem cells, red, blue, and light infusions, nano-V, and 2 cognitive processes. So we'll also have a segment where the students will be involved with these new healing modalities, which I've now taken to NFL teams to try to enhance what they do. So we want these students to be on the cutting edge of the massive transformation that's going to occur in preventative and rehabilitative medicine.
Yes, got it. I've been talking with John Strahl about a lot of those healing modalities and some of the plans you have for that. And I taught high school for several years. I've seen those feelings firsthand. What are just some of your big goals for the Steinberg Sports Academy?
To teach people specific skill sets to help them in college and in whatever career they turn. So, like at an agent academy. So you go to law school, business school, or sports, teach you the basic concepts of how to the principles of the field. But you no more could come out of law school and start your own practice. I mean, they don't teach you how to network and brand and all that. So skills like listening, how you get in the heart and mind of another human being and see the world the way they see it. So you understand their greatest anxieties and fears and their greatest hopes and dreams. So you can fulfill that person. If you can put yourself in another person's heart and mind and see the world the way they see it. But we're not teaching people to draw out all the people around them and to do the same focus inside themselves. How important is short-term economic gain, long-term economics, family issues, spirituality, geographical location, high profile, for an athlete, it's being a starter, being on a winning team. And you need to be able to navigate your way through life, understanding the other person's perspective. That will help you in recruiting or selling, which is always part of most careers. It will help you in terms of the art of negotiating, which is also helpful. It will help you learn how to brand and market, which is very helpful. So we're teaching specific skill sets, but we also want high character young people that have a certain mission that they can envision a better world. My father brought me up with two core values. One, treasure relationships, especially family. And the second was to try to make a meaningful difference and help people who can't help themselves in the world, look to make a change. So that basically is the underpinning of our practice, and it's the underpinning of these new schools. And if one works, I'm sure that it will hopefully set off a trend where there'll be more.
I think so. Do you have any unique opportunities planned for the students?
Oh my God, yes. We'll take them to first of all, we'll have them do exercises where they have to negotiate. When I've done this before, we'll bring in the head of Fox Sports to talk about television contracts. We'll bring in a general manager of the Cardinals or the Diamondbacks, to talk about it. We'll take them to a tour of a stadium and look at marketing and branding opportunities and listen to the philosophy. We'll teach them damage control. And so when I've done it before, you assign a person some troubled athlete. And now they're going to have to do a press release or a statement to deal with it. And then we'll have real reporters there. So we can do all sorts of interactive fun with local franchises in football, baseball, basketball, hockey. And then we'll do sessions on things like esports. So something that's blowing up as an opportunity. So we'll be forward looking. And we'll bring someone in from an esports team or an esports network and have them talk about how they conceptualize the sport and marketing and branding and the rest of it. We'll do a segment on NILs, which are name, image, and likeness, which have now taken over college campuses across the country, where the players are able to hire marketing agents.
That is a lot. They're gonna be blown away. So, in wrapping this talk up, is there anything else that you'd like to let people know about the Steinberg Sports Academy?
That we're putting a premium on a well-rounded education, on people who realize the use of their primary profession to do good in the world, that we're going to give them skills training in a variety of ways so they learn how to network, they learn how to negotiate, they learn how to sell, we'll assign them an article to write so that they have to be a sports writer based on something. So we want this to be a vibrant, exciting campus to be on with educational bona fides, but also with creativity to meet the modern market.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time again to speak with me today, and I'm really excited to see how the first year of the Academy plays out.
Thanks. It'll be fun, and I think the students will greatly benefit.
I think so too. I'm excited about this. Thank you again.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Pivot Perspectives with your host, Chris O'Byrne. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advice on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.